guys, my name is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome, and if you guys have already been subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Today's video is a super exciting one. It's about the new launch of ColourPop's Hocus Pocus collection, and I'm doing 5 looks with one palette using this palette. Now, I would definitely insert all the swatches and the palette review in this video itself. I just wanted to combine everything within one video so that it's not like in parts, because there are like 10,000 videos on this palette. So yeah, so that's what I did. Basically, I've created like a red look, pink look, green look, a glam look, a smoky look. Those are the 5 looks that I created. I have used every shade that has been included in this palette. Fun story short, I dropped this palette and I lost my mind. But everything is intact still, so all good. I have a little bit of thoughts after using this palette. First of all, the shades are beautiful. They're pigmented, they're blendable, no problems there at all. But there is a lot of cake back. As soon as you dip the brush, especially the shades Dead Man Toe and Coven and On Toast, especially like the matte shades, they're super pigmented, plus they have a lot of kickback, so just keep it in mind. Otherwise, all the shades perform beautifully. I personally felt when I opened this palette that Coven and Come Little Children are going to be very similar shades, but when I swatched and when I applied on the eyes, it's completely different shades. Come Little Children is more of a neutral brown shade and Coven is more on that deep warm tone brown shade. This palette retails for $22. It comes with 15 shades, out of which 5 are matte, 4 are like sequenced shadows, basically matte with like speckled glitters on it, 5 shimmers and 1 pressed glitter. Now, the pressed glitter that is included in this palette, that is Brew Potion, is not chunky at all. It is very finely milled glitter. It totally reminds me of the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette, you know, shimmers in the palette. I absolutely had a blast creating all the shadows. I never had any problems. Out of these 15 shades, 3 of them are mentioned that it is not intended for use in the immediate eye area, and those are the shades Brew Potion, which is the pressed glitter, which makes sense, Night of Frolic and the Dead Man's Toe. That basically is included in that category just because it has red pigments in it. Some of the people have staining issues when they put those shades on the eye, and that is why it's not intended for eye area. I personally have that issue of like staining, but nothing major. Like as soon as you like wipe it, the next day it'll be gone. So that's basically it. This is going to be a long video, so without further ado, let's move on to the 5 looks that I created with Hocus Pocus palette.
Cold sweat, I was in a nightmare, searching in the dark, but I couldn't find you. There were footsteps coming down the hallway, but when I turned around, it wasn't you. I was looking at myself, I couldn't see my face, but deep down I knew it was true. Shadows handed me a question: if I ever lost you, what would I do? What would I do? Do-do-do-do. What would I do? Do-do-do-do. Woke up from my premonition, I couldn't feel your warmth, I couldn't find you. So I flipped out, I ran into the kitchen, I found a little note saying I'll be back soon. Relief came with a little breath, with nothing else to do, I headed back to the room. When I saw the clock was hitting midnight, your clothes were all packed and the dog was gone too. So what do I do? What do I do? Lucky me, it was only a dream within a dream. It gave me sight unseen, and suddenly I knew what was haunting me. The last bite, the last memory of our the sun was peeking its head into the room. Border collie sleeping at the foot of the bed, but still I couldn't find. Cold sweat, I was in a nightmare, searching in the dark, but I couldn't find you. There were footsteps coming down the hallway, but when I turned around, it wasn't you. I was looking at myself, I couldn't see my face, but deep down I knew it was true. Shadows handed me a question: if I ever lost you, what would I do? What would I do? Do-do-do-do. What would I do? Do-do-do-do. Woke up from my premonition, I couldn't feel your warmth, I couldn't find you. So I flipped out, I ran into the kitchen, I found a little note saying I'll be back soon. Relief came with a little breath, with nothing else to do, I headed back to the room. When I saw the clock was hitting midnight, your clothes were all packed and the dog was gone too. So what do I do? Do-do-do-do. What do I do? Do-do-do-do. Lucky me, it was only a dream within a dream. It gave me sight unseen, and suddenly I knew what was haunting me. The last bite, the last memory of our last night, as I watched you walk away from me. How could I let you leave? How could I let you leave? What do I do? Do-do-do-do. What do I do? Do-do-do-do. Cold sweat, woke up from a nightmare. The sun was peeking its head into the room. Border collie sleeping at the foot of the bed, but still I couldn't find you. Cold sweat, I was in a nightmare, searching in the dark, but I couldn't find you. There were footsteps coming down the hallway, but when I turned around, it wasn't you. I was looking at myself, I couldn't see my face, but deep down I knew it was true. Shadows handed me a question: if I ever lost you, what would I do? What would I do? Do-do-do-do. What would I do? Do-do-do-do. Woke up from my premonition, I couldn't feel your warmth, I couldn't find you. So I flipped out, I ran into the kitchen, I found a little note saying I'll be back soon. Relief came with a little breath, with nothing else to do, I headed back to the room. When I saw the clock was hitting midnight, your clothes were all packed and the dog was gone too. So what do I do? Do-do-do-do. What do I do? Do-do-do-do. Lucky me, it was only a dream within a dream. It gave me sight unseen, and suddenly I knew what was.
And those were my 5 looks that I created with this palette. I really hope that you guys would love the looks that I created. I used all the shades in the palette and that was my intention. I really hope that you had some inspiration. If you had a chance of picking up this palette, I think this would be useful for you. Funny story, I picked up this palette today from the Ulta store. And I've never seen a line before my store, and it is a pretty new store, so I thought it's going to be pretty easy going. My store opens at 11 o'clock. I was there at 10:45. There were 10 more people in front of me, and by the time the store opened, the line was like of 30 people. I've never seen it before. I don't know. I know Hocus Pocus collection is like super hyped up, but this was crazy. And I don't think that all the people who were standing in the line got the palette too. That is super annoying, but yes. I really hope that you would enjoy this video. If you did, please do like this video and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Border collie sleeping at the foot of the bed, but still I couldn't find you.